Hey everybody, this is Drew with Bariatric Adventures, and today we're going to cook two dishes. Very easy, very quick, very simple. These can both be sides to a meat, or you can just eat them as is. We're going to do a cream of mushroom and a sauteed cabbage. Now both of these are going to be very on the keto side, so for those of you who have fat restrictions per your physician, this wouldn't be quite for you. So let's get right into it. We're gonna heat up our pans, both pans, to a medium high. Everybody's stovetop is different. I know what mine cooks at, so on mine it's a medium high. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the butter and then the vegetables, the mushrooms, or the fungi in the vegetable, the mushrooms and the cabbage. We're wanting to saute them, break them down, open up those starches and start caramelizing those. Okay, so now that our pans are heated up, I've already added a half a stick of butter for the pan for the cabbage. I'm going to do so again for the pan for the mushrooms. And like I said, this is keto recipes here. For those of you who are trying to watch those fats, this would not be for you unless you can find a, you can use ghee or avocado oil and add more sodium to get those same flavors. That's what you lose when you're not using butter. So we're going to add about 3 to 4 cups of portobello mushrooms here. Let those go ahead and break down. And with the cabbage, this is about 1/4 head of cabbage chopped up into 1-inch squares. We're going to have some that are a little bit bigger, but it all breaks down. A good chef once told me the difference between home cooking and restaurant cooking is that in restaurants, they season every step. Every time you add a component, season it. Again, you can season to flavor, to your taste. Now we're going to give each of these a little stir. Coat the vegetables in that butter, and then the salt and pepper, and let them start to saute and break down. Start caramelizing. Breaking down those starches, turning them into sugars. Alright, we're going to let these go for the mushrooms for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fresh they are. The cabbage, they're going to saute for quite a bit longer. You want to go with these until they're almost like a golden color, kind of like the skin of an onion. Okay, so at this point our mushrooms are broken down, they're pretty tender, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add about a big tablespoon of some minced garlic. And the reason why I add this now and not at the beginning is because minced garlic burns a lot quicker when it's minced. That's why some recipes you slice it, some recipes you mash it, or just throw the whole clove in. Some of those dishes that cook a lot longer, the garlic will not burn. And we're going to go ahead and let this break down a little bit more. And then we'll add our sour cream. And remember, every once in a while, give these a stir. You don't want the vegetables sitting on the bottom to sit there too long. You want to rotate the cabbage and the mushrooms so that they don't burn. And don't get your spatulas mixed up. At this point, the cabbage is starting to soften and it's starting to lose a bit of a white color and light green and deepen and turn into, I'm sure some of you who have sauteed onions before, that darker golden color where the sugars are starting to break down and caramelize. Our next step with the mushrooms is we're going to add some white wine. You can use your favorite wine that you drink. Rule of thumb, when you cook with wines, try to use a wine that you enjoy drinking. You get that flavor in there. Normally we would be adding about a cup of white wine, but I just used the less in my bottle. All we're doing with the white wine is glazing the bottom of the pot, getting all that fond off the bottom of the pot, and incorporating it into the rest of the dish. It enhances that flavor. And now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and add our sour cream. This is about 2 cups of sour cream. I know it's a lot, but it's how we get our cream into our cream of mushroom, and plus a nice tardiness, being that it's sour cream. Okay, so now for our mushrooms, since I didn't have enough white wine, I'm offsetting the liquid lost from the white wine with some extra heavy cream. Give that a stir, incorporate that. Now when you make cream of anything, you know you're done when it's thick enough to coat the back of a spoon and not fall off, much like a gravy. Oh yeah. Now we're at our point with our cabbage. It's starting to turn that brown, and you can see some of the pieces are starting to caramelize. We're going to turn that down, and we're going to cover it. Turn it down to just before your low setting. We want to go low and slow. And our cream of mushroom is working out just nicely. Now, if you don't like the big chunks of mushroom in your cream of mushroom, when this is done, you can put it through a food processor, and then you get more of a consistency that you would get from a store-bought canned cream of mushroom. We're going to let this thicken up as well, turning it down nice and low and covering it. Now remember to occasionally remove the lid, give them a stir, make sure everything's going right, everybody's still happy and not burning. Okay, so at this point my mushrooms have broken down as much as I like them to. I'm going to remove the lid so that we can get that liquid in there to thicken up a little bit faster. And our cabbage is looking beautiful. Continuing to break down a lot of those thicker pieces closer to the core of the cabbage. Quite haven't gotten to that fork tender stage. But it is looking nicely. Looking very good, very tasty. Going to cover that and continue to let them saute. Our mushrooms are just about done. We can move them off the eye, and the residual heat will allow that sauce to thicken up. So now my cabbage is broken down to where I like it. You can cook this down even further until it's just nice and mushy and sweet, but this is about how I like it. And the cream of mushroom sticking up pretty good. A good way to test it is you run your spatula or spoon across the pan, and if it doesn't come back together instantly, you're there. So we're eating these two together as one dish. That's me. That's us. Get some cabbage in the bottom here. Since we are bariatric patients, we're not going to be able to eat a whole lot of it. There we go. Cream of mushroom with sauteed cabbage. And again, you can use these as sides, or you can eat them together like this. Let me get into it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. And remember to subscribe and hit that little bell. Like the video. It helps us out to make more videos. And leave a comment if you have a suggestion about an upcoming video or a recipe that you don't mind us researching and trying out first before you do it. Let us know in the comments. Have a good one.